Hello and welcome back to another episode of After the Table, a TTRPG podcast. 'Tis I, your chronically online millennial drag queen, Shelly Von Miller here, and y'all, this is the penultimate episode. I can't believe it. We've made it through another season. This is the first season. I can't believe we made it through a season of this podcast. It's been a crazy fun ride. If you have a favorite moment, please let me know. Leave a comment. Maybe be like, hey, that episode about this was really cool. Or, maybe you like this episode and you're like, hey, that part, you should totally do that. And maybe I'll combine all those moments and make them into a season 2 trailer. Like, I need to put more work on my back. That's great. I'm just adding more things. But I'm very excited for this guest because they're amazing and talented, and they are the host of their own podcast called The Overprepared DM, which I will be on a future episode. Cough, cough, wink, wink, haha. They are constantly wowing the internet with their amazing Dark Souls content, and plus, they are sponsored by Taco fucking Bell. Welcome to the table, the wonderful, the talented Jen is online. Hey, hi, hello, Jen.
Hi, I'm so chronically online I put it in my username.
Yeah. My intros, I tried to include like a hint on who's gonna be on the. I mean,
That's
like you
cute.
get it from the title. But I mentioned this in an earlier episode. There's a drag queen that has their own podcast that does intros off the top of their head, and it's
That's
just
fun.
like a list of things of the guest, and it's sometimes it's rhyming, sometimes it's not, and it's like
That's cute. I like that.
I can't do that off the top of my head. It looks like I did. It's written down. I'm just saying. I wish I could.
We're practiced queens.
Yes. I might be an unprepared DM, but I am not an unprepared content creator.
Yes.
Hooray.
Iconic.
Iconic. We actually talk about that on the episode that I'm on your podcast. I'm like, yeah, I'm the unprepared DM that has just a bunch of stuff pulled up all at once, my tabs.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's just so funny. So for those who don't know who you are, what you do, please introduce yourself.
Sure, yes. Hello, I'm Jen, or Jen is online. My pronouns are she, her. I stream content that is comedic, body positive, and, just out here doing my best. I play Souls games, fantasy games, horror games. I'm also known to host a bunch of game shows or large-scale events where I bring people together and do fun things when the spoons are large. And so I love doing all the things. And truly do be online. I make content on Twitch, YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, other short-form platforms like Instagram and Shorts and things like that. I'm also in the process of beginning a blog, and just things that fill my time, and like you said, more work on your back, more work on my back.
As somebody who started their content creation journey, a lot of my journey was like YouTube, and then I went into blogging.
Yeah.
Have fun with that. I still have a blog. I just haven't updated it in a very long time.
Right. Yeah.
I
no,
want
I
to. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Well, what's stopping you?
Spoons.
Those damn fucking little spoons.
Spoons.
They really be out here hurting
also,
our feelings.
I will say this right now. After many years of writing on blogs and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to write anymore.
That's fair.
It's one of those things. It's like I've been making content since 2008.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah, like I've done it all, actually. I'm done.
I've done it all.
I'm tired of ready to sleep and never to return again from my cave.
She is a I mean, as an elder millennial, it's one of those things. Like, as we're recording this, by the way, I turned 38 in exactly a week.
Ooh! Slay.
I've had the internet in my life for a majority of my life.
Yeah.
I've been online for so long that I'm like, oh yeah, I totally remember my ICQ, AOL username.
Yeah. Gaia Online.
I was not part of Gaia.
IMVU.
I never did Gaia, but I was part of Neopets. I love.
Yeah, there was Neopets, all of that. I did all that as well.
Yeah, I was in those. Freaking chat boards. Just.
Oh yeah.
Oh, good lord. Speaking of online, and you kind of. I am dying to know, how the hell did you get that Taco Bell sponsorship? How did that happen? I don't know if you've explained it already, but I
not really.
Know.
I mean, I jokingly say, like, I asked really nicely, which is partially true. But in a realistic standpoint, it was a who you know situation. I had a friend in the content creation space who had a connection with somebody, and I asked them very nicely for that connection, and they, having known me for years, were like, you know, I don't usually give out information like this, but I will. And so I got some contact information and I sent them an email, just pitched myself and how I've worked at Taco Bell and how I love it and I eat it all the time. Literally, it's on my desk right now because they have a new item on the menu and I wanted to try it.
Drop the new item. I want to know.
It's like steak and jalapeno smothered fries.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was like, this is not Taco Bell, but I kind of want to try it.
Yeah, I feel like it's anytime I see something that's a little different from like a restaurant or like a fast food restaurant that I go to, I'm like,
from their like genre, like it's like they're putting out chicken nuggets. I'm like, come on, Taco Bell.
Yeah. Or but
then they end up being pretty good. Like their fries are really good.
Are the fries good? I mean, they
are.
Do
I like them.
Know how to fry things fairly well. So.
I think a lot of places in the U.S. fry a lot of things pretty well.
That's true. That's true. That is.
But
beyond true.
So I reached out to them through the email that I got from my friend who knows people, and so I didn't make friends with this person specifically to get to know Taco Bell. Like, I just learned over the 5 years of knowing her that she was associated with them at all, and I kept it in the back of my mind. It wasn't like something that I was going to roll into her DMs the second she said anything about it. I was like, I'll just pocket that information, and if I have a pitch in the future, I would love to bring it up. Then I don't know what happened, but Taco Bell's account came into my Twitch when I hit Twitch Partner and gave $500 worth of bits and said, congratulations on hitting Twitch Partner. I don't know what it was, but that was the moment that I was like, I need to go reach out to my friend and tell them that I'm gonna, like, so I was like, I wanted to close the gap. I was like, hey, so in my email, I always start my emails out with a joke, and I don't tell people what the joke is because I don't want my joke being stolen, but I start out with my joke, and then I talked about how they came into my channel to like close the gap, and then I started talking about how I've worked at Taco Bell and all my experience there and how my community loves it. We have it on stream, blah blah blah. It's very easy to get a whole entire room of people talking about the menu at Taco Bell, and they actually responded. They responded that they didn't have anything, admittedly, but I was like, you know what? That's cool. They responded. Like, it was just one person. They were like, this is really nice. It's really nice to meet you. We don't have anything right now. And I just was like, okay, cool. So then the New Year's rolled around. I was doing some events, and I was like, it would be really cool to have Taco Bell sponsor these events. So I just kept reaching out, just politely, not like, hi, is something available yet? Is something available yet? Is something like, that's rude. But I was like coming every couple months with like ideas for content, being like, hey, just letting you know that my door is still open. I am very interested still in this opportunity. I know that we had a conversation a couple months ago. Here's a couple things that we've been doing. Here's the stats for that, as well as like some stuff I have ideas for. And it'd be really cool to get Taco Bell behind this. It would benefit you, blank, blank, blank. I would write a whole essay. I would give them, like, presentation decks. They responded to some of them, being like, this is great. We don't have anything. So it was the same person. And then I stopped reaching out to them for a couple months because I was like, all right, I need to change my game. And then they actually reached out to me at the beginning of the year. And they were like, hey, we have a program, like, with Twitch, essentially, being like, a beta taster is what they call it, which I find hilarious. But they come out with new items, and you try them, and you get, like, stipends and things like that. I have my own meal at Taco Bell. Like, they've sent me a giant box of stuff. I had 4 sponsored streams on the front page of Twitch because of Twitch and Taco Bell's integration. So I feel like it was just sort of me asking nicely and presenting professionally for a very consistent amount of time that they were like, okay, we're going to reach out to this person with an opportunity we do actually have. And which is really, really cool. And it's kind of the coolest thing I've ever done. But I mean, it just goes to show, like, don't take no for an answer, but, like, don't stop trying. Just because they don't have something right now doesn't mean they won't have something in the future. And just keep being persistent and complete. Don't just email people and say, hey, I'm interested in this. Like, email them with ideas and pitch decks and details. Companies, especially corporations and 500 corporations, like, they want stats. They want to know what you provide. They don't really care who you are. They want to know your numbers. They want to know what the benefit is for them. So I was like, I got pitch decks. I got stuff. I am ready. I've been working my ass in Canva to make it cute, and I'm ready to give this to you.
I love that. Yeah, I feel like people just think some of these just, like, fall into your lap. Not yours, but, like, fall into
you in general.
Laps.
Yeah.
But it does take a lot of work.
Definitely.
Just getting sponsors for, like, a one-time thing is a lot of work. And it's kind of like a, hey, we may have this happen. Hopefully it happens, but I'm just excited to be here. If they say if they even respond to the email and it's outside of the automatic
response.
Automatic response, and it's like,
I literally, that person responding to me was the win I took. I was like, even if I never get anything, they know who I am. And that's what I was like, really bad. I was riding that high for like a year, being like, I don't have anything from them, but they know who I am, and like, that was really, really cool for me. So,
are there any brands? So, is this the first brand that you're working with, or you've done sponsored stuff before, correct?
I've done sponsored stuff before. It's the first brand I've, like, integrated into my channel. And I do have affiliate codes and things with a couple other stuff. I'm working with Comfort, which is a weighted, like, hoodie and sweat set sort of activewear clothing line, and it helps with, like, anxiety and things like that. And they gave me a bunch of free product, and whenever they come out with new stuff, I get discounts and whatnot, and I get stipends for all things paid, affiliate programs. But I like it, and I really do stand by it. They give a portion of their funds to mental health charities for everything that they make, and I just feel like they are upstanding in their presence online and their actual, like, follow through, and that, like, matters to me a lot. And so that's kind of it when it comes to, like, integrations and companies that I want to work with. When I first started streaming, I wanted anything to give me credibility. So I really, really fell into the hole that I call, like, I don't call it anything, but the hole of, like, just taking anything and being like, I'm sponsored, I'm affiliated. But that's how larger companies or even smaller companies really feed off of small creators. And that's how you build like a poor professional standing and relationship with the public. And I don't like it. So whenever I see companies doing things like that, I don't really go for them. Mostly like, drink supplement places. No shame. I'm sure there's some that are great, but seeing everyone in the world have an affiliate code for a drink supplement feels weird. But yeah, so when I was a young warthog on the platform, I really was taking anything. I was like, I have dice, I have coffee, I have all this stuff, but I wasn't making any money. I was just free advertisement for all these things, and if someone happened to buy something, I would get 10% back. So, it's not great.
Yeah. I will totally admit that I fell for some of these.
Me too.
I mean, my rig, this beast of a thing, is from a company that no longer exists. I'll fucking name the name. Artesian Builds.
You said I'll say it.
I'll say it. I don't give a fuck. What are you gonna do? Sue me? You ain't got no money. But yeah, no, I fell for it because I was in the community. I mean, we all know the story of what happened with well, if you don't, just Google it, people. Artesian Builds. And I was also a mod for them.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, like, I was not there for the incident, but I,
you were
I quickly
involved
was like,
in the space enough. Yeah.
So it's just like, oh yeah, I thought this was cool. Let me, Don't do it, kids. Don't sign up just for anything.
True.
Also, if you're going to have an affiliate code, use your own affiliate code if you're going to buy product from them.
That's true.
Get your money back.
Get money back.
Get your money back, baby.
That is a hack. That is so funny. Unless you have a better deal.
Oh,
and
yeah.
would actually save more money, then yeah.
Yeah. Always use your affiliate code, children. From the old content creators of the world.
The millennials.
The millennials.
Sure.
That's your millennial hack. Always use your own affiliate code. That's great that you've. I feel like it happens all the time, and no matter if you people who are in the space say it over and over again, it will always happen because it's, it will always just the cycle of new content creators into the space. It there's a rinse and repeat cycle all the time.
But you sort of have to go through those experiences to grow.
Yeah.
At every point in my content creation journey, I felt like I was doing the right thing. And people sort of need to go through that to grow and get to a different mindset and learn from people at different sizes and just things like that. I just truly believe if someone is going to go for a sponsorship, or even an affiliate code, it should be from something that you do believe in and and actually use, and not something that you will start using because you have a sponsorship from it. So I always say go for the sponsorships for the things that you have on your desk.
Yeah.
I have
totally
Elgato. I don't actually. I'm not working with them, but I have things on my desk. I have Asus. I have Samsung. I have Stream Decks. I've got reach out to the companies of the things that you use, because then the ultimate goal is to be paid for the things you already have, or upgrade the things you have because you've made connections in the space, or just in general believe in the things that you want to promote. People tend to see behind the curtain of there's a word there, but people see what you're doing.
Yeah. You might think that you're the Wizard of Oz, but really they're like, oh, there you are, Jeff Goldblum.
Yep. Yeah,
There you are.
This is just a big company coming in and being a pariah on small creators for sure.
The
But
one
no,
thing that
excuse me, sorry.
I mean, you had it on your thing, but this is the one company that I wouldn't mind a sponsorship from.
Dutch Bros? Oh, a saint.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Come
yeah.
at me.
I'd be like,
Constantly
I
in
drink
your
Dutch Bros every
drive-thru.
day. I'll pitch the same thing. Taco Bell, I eat Taco Bell all the time. Dutch Bros, I drink Dutch Bros all the time.
It's Dutch Bros and Whataburger for me. If Whataburger ever got into the streaming space, Dutch Bros. Seriously though,
Yeah.
I would, constantly.
I love that you asked because I think that it opens a larger conversation around like following up or getting sponsorships to things that you like believe in. And as silly as it is to say that I believe in Taco Bell, I do. I eat it all the time. I'm really a Taco Bell girly. Of the fast food restaurants in America, I do believe they're one of the better ones. They're definitely more in line with people like me. But at the end of the day, no one's a winner in the capitalist society.
Yeah.
But I am happy to be reaping the benefits of that. We're all playing the game, you know?
There was one of the past guests on the episode, they're like, the only good consumption under capitalism is diablerie, which is like a mechanic in VTM. And I'm like, honestly,
You said
Yeah.
T. Yeah.
T.
Go off. That's so
It's
fair.
like, yeah. So speaking of TTRPG stuff, this is a TTR. I mean, we talk about content on this podcast anyways, but
Oh, yes.
I mean, we are a TTRPG podcast. You are actually the DM for an actual play called Missing Pieces. And you have some amazing content creators on there. You have Aries to Fairies, Mandy Ray, Saya Jean, Nearly
Jean.
Squid, Jean?
Saya Jean. Yeah.
Saya Jean, Nearly Squid, and Concho Dreamer.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get those? How did you get everybody together? And what did that conversation look like? Were a lot of people like on board? Had they played D&D before?
Yes and no, and that was part of the plan as well. So myself and Nearly Squid, we played multiple games together over the years. And every group we've ever been in has died to the real bag of time management and scheduling, or miscellaneous drama. And our groups have always broken up in some way, and we have always been like, we just want a game. Like, we just want to play a game. We love playing together, so we want to play together. And I was like, you know what? I've been thinking of running another one, because I haven't run a game in over a year at this point. And I don't know that I want it to be online, because part of the online aspect was leading to a lot of the drama aspect, which was leading a lot to the scheduling and all that, just blah, 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 lots of drama. So I was like, you know what? If I did an offline campaign, I would like to do it with you. I think that'd be fun. So I had Squid in mind. And I was like, I am a gay femme creator. Squid is a gay creator. I would love for the space to be gays and theys. And so that was sort of the premise of the people that I was going to ask. And I had a couple friends in mind, such as Concho, and I asked him, and he was super on board. And then I was like, you know what? I really want to ask a couple more friends of mine. I need there to be representation of trans representation. I need there to be BIPOC representation. I need there to just be more. And in fact, it could be more than it is right now, too. But I asked my friend Mandy, my friend Aries, my friend Saya, and they were all super on board, really wanting to play the game. We do have a first-time player, Saya Jean, and then we have a newer player, Aries, and Concho, and then Squid and I have been playing forever, and then Mandy's sort of somewhere in the middle there, and it's really fun, and the group has that really great dynamic of having veteran players with brand new players, which I love. They're playing a homebrew story, so nothing is super serious, but it is a horror story, because I do write like that. But no, everyone there is they work together really well because most of us now, especially over a year and a half into it, but most of us knew each other already going into it, and then we only had to add a couple extra people, so the dynamic was sort of already created, and but I really wanted to get people together to sort of work in a space with people that I love, gays and theys, and then my friends who love D&D, and then just sort of record it and upload it and just showcase that your table can look like anything and still be a fantastic time.
I love that. I love, especially like the pre-recorded part, because then you can just edit it not how you want, but like then you can edit
cut
it
out
down.
like if someone paused for 30 seconds, we could cut it out. I don't usually do that, admittedly. I do cut out, like, when we have to go to the bathroom or whatever and take breaks. Yeah. But I try to keep it as authentic as possible because I don't want it to be this perfect project with editing and lighting, and I would love for it to be, but I don't want to manage it.
It sounds great in concept, and I love people who are able to do it. It just sounds like a nightmare to deal with on the production side.
Yeah.
And if you're like a solo person, like you're the DM and production person, it's like, no.
Yep.
No. I get why, a bunch of big tables or, like, even tables that have really good production styles, they have, like, other people running the game.
Exactly.
Or, like, running the background.
That's really it. If there was more than just me, I would 100% put more... It's not that I don't put effort into it, but I would put more of my spoons into it. I would love to have a studio. I would love to have a crew that could just, like, manage all the cameras and everything like that. But I just have me and a friends that I asked to play a game with me. And over time, it might grow. You never know. We might start making money off of it. We'll see. That's also not the goal. I just sort of wanted to play a game after a year and a half of being retired from D&D. And it's been a nice tiptoe back into it after so much drama.
Yeah, unfortunately, that happens at tables. It's just like things just happen, or like it's not even drama that you bring to the table or that you have with somebody else at the table. It's just somebody, and it's like outside forces.
Yep.
Has totally happened at tables that I've been at, and I'm like,
absolutely.
Great.
Cool. This now affects me for sure.
Thank you so much. But you have it under, like, how you have it uploaded is under the Overprepared DM podcast.
Yes.
So what was that decision like? Why was that made?
So I, instead of creating a third individual project to manage socials for, instead, you said that's the T. I decided to frame it in a way where I talk about dungeon mastering all the time on my podcast. My podcast is about being an overprepared DM. It's about listening to advice from other dungeon masters, and it's about, what to do and not to do in the space to create good games. And I was like, what if I just showcase what I'm talking about? And so in my podcast, I now refer to the game I'm running on the show, and in the show, I refer to the podcast. So it feels very intertwined. And it's ultimately like, hey, who is this bitch talking to me about what I should and shouldn't be doing? Well, go watch the game I'm running simultaneously to recording this podcast. Look how happy the players are, and look how much fun we're having, and then talk shit. No one's talking shit, actually, at all, but that's sort of,
But still. Yeah, I totally get that, because I'm like, oh, I should totally make separate socials for After the Table. And then I'm like, nah.
Absolutely not.
No. No, as somebody who's done social media management for multiple brands and
Yeah.
multiple pages, absolutely fucking not. This is my podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is After the Table, a TTRPG podcast brought to you by Shelly Von Miller.
Right.
I will showcase it on my platforms.
Mm-hmm.
If it was like its own thing and it was under like a podcasting hub, then
Mm-hmm.
okay, fine.
Yeah.
But then that's a whole nother beast unto itself. Then you have like production,
Yeah.
like a production crew and things like that. So until such time that happens, hi, this podcast is on all my social media.
Right.
Speaking of the overprepared DM, you can go into as much detail as you want. How did that come about? What do you consider an overprepared DM? Or like just an adequately prepared DM?
So
yeah.
I have talked about this on my podcast, but I consider someone who is overprepared to be someone who has done what I've done, which is write every possible outcome to every possible role and write the backstory of every possible city person in the town you're going to and have so many branching pathways that you're actually just creating Skyrim on paper. And that's great. However, then you're gonna go run Waterdeep and you haven't prepped for Waterdeep because you've built the outside world of Waterdeep. And then I feel like there's just so much that you can do that burns out, that can burn you out, because you start game 1 and they skipped 40 pages of what you've written because they made one choice. And you just worked and worked and worked your ass off for all these possibilities instead of just working a little improv muscle. And I think that it's been helpful to talk about it because it's helped me in general get better at it. Improv, I mean, and not being overprepared.
No, that makes a lot of sense. Because, yeah, I like to say I'm overprepared. I mean, I make session notes and I have, like, an idea.
Yeah.
But then it's one of those things is, like, I'm very much let me leave this up to the dice or how, like, the players want to decide this. Again, I have a framework. If we need to get back on the rails, I will put us back on the rails. I will easily just, crane us over. But I'm a big fan of a D20 or D100 table just causing chaos at the story. And I'm like, especially during, like, travel days, I'm like, I don't want to plan for everything in a travel day.
Yeah.
You know what is prepared for a travel day? A D100 table.
Right. So, I totally get that.
And then you, as a DM, can, on the fly, think of, like, okay, so this is the premise. Let's see how the players think. And then that improv muscle kind of kicks in and you're kind of like, okay, all right. This is how we're going to do this.
Yes. And ultimately, all 40 hours of my podcast can be, boiled down to this quick conversation. But yeah, there's so many nuanced pieces that, like, we could talk about where it's like, where do you get your resources from? Where do you get these from? How do you not prepare too much or how do you not steal ideas from content but still be creative and blah, 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 blah. Like, there's so much that you can talk about. There's also, you can over-prepare homebrew content. You can do way too much there. So we have content all over the place with all the things that you can possibly over-prepare. But ultimately, in every podcast episode, I say, just have fun. If you want to write everything under the sun and you'll have fun doing that, then do it. I'm just trying to preserve your future mental health, especially for new DMs who are really gung-ho and haven't run a game yet, or haven't experienced someone going, I don't want to do that, and then doing something else, and then you sort of feel dejected. Like, at the end of the day, kind of like with the sponsorships, you have to do it yourself. You have to live and learn and experience the hurt, and you might not even feel hurt. You might not have that hurt. You might be an overprepared DM for the rest of time and be like golly gee willikers so happy, which is great. But I'm just saying, you have to live the experiences, and I'm just giving my 2 cents.
Yeah, I think, yeah, that, yeah. It's one of those things. You have to experience it. Because, oh gosh. I think we might have talked about this on my episode. I don't remember if we did. I prepared 100 and something, a very large dungeon for my players to go through, and I was like, this is going to take about like 4 to 5 sessions. You know, it's a lot of, you know, I prepared everything in each room. I figured out all the scenarios, and then they're like, oh, wait, this is on a Titan that's standing up tall, and we need to get to the very top.
I'll just
and it's
fly.
Open. We have a druid that can wild shape. And she just learned how, like, you know, the druid thing where, like, you see the creature, you can transform into the creature. Yeah. They had a couple of episodes prior had gone against a young dragon.
Yeah.
So, hey, DMs, don't. Wait till they're at least a couple of rooms in.
Right.
That's right. Because I was really excited because I found this map because I was like, oh, this is a really cool map. And I was like, oh, you know, we're in this space and this is what's here. Oh, this would be a really cool dungeon to go through.
Yep.
No,
I think
never again.
There's a lot of players, and I've definitely DM'd both of them, and I much prefer the players, and because it's how I would play, people who are, like, not afraid of what's going to happen, and they just experience the game as you wrote it. And then there's the players that are like, how do I get around every possible obstacle to not be hurt at all and never have a scratch? And that's fine, but it's boring. For me to play it that way, and you can talk all you want about your character having a character reason to do a certain thing, like, oh, they're skeptical, blah blah blah, sure. But also, if I crafted a chess game in game for you to interact with, in order for you to get to the other side of the room, it feels bad when you go, I'm gonna spider crawl and walk on the walls and get to the other side that way. And then if it's like, okay, well then if I'm not poking out, if I'm not stabbing you actively, then I'm, you know, I don't want to be the person that's trying to kill you. I just want you to interact with the stuff that I made. Yeah. But sure, if you want to skip it, we can skip it, whatever. It did just feel a little dejected, but it's fine.
Just rip those metaphorical invisible pages in half.
Yeah.
I think it's not just like, I feel bad for, like, that I created all this and it's like a lot of time. It's just like, you know, okay, all right, I prepared this, now I have to really improv. Like, yeah. I really it's like, okay, cool, how do I, as the DM, fix this situation?
Right.
And if you don't prepare for that, you're kind of like, oh, all right, let's take a break real quick. Especially in actual play, you're like, or just like at a table in general, you could be like, let's take a break real quick. Let me just. Shit.
Yeah. Let me just figure this out real quick. Fuck. I've definitely done that. I've been like, hey guys, I gotta go to the bathroom real quick, and then I'm in the bathroom like, all right, so how do I improv my way? I'm just like a little self, like, preparation planning session for me to just, like, get my
talk
shit
to
together.
The metaphorical audience, like, give me 3 words, like,
give me anything. Yeah. Sometimes I don't think of things on the fly because I'm a human. I definitely try, but I don't want to get into bad situation where I have written myself into a corner or made a loophole or been too lenient on something to where they are now OP. So I do have to think about things every so often to be like, okay, hold on. So there's one episode that I had recently of Missing Pieces where they were asking me to do something with magic, and in my head I was like, this could go very wrong if they try to do this again in a different situation. But I was like, you know what? Whatever. Yes, you can do that. And now I'm just waiting for any sort of like, hey, can I do that thing again? But this time it's overpowered, but we'll see what happens. Luckily, you get yourself a group of people who want to interact with the chessboard in your group and not walk over it or fly over it. They can if they want to. That's also fine. It's just like, hey, we talked about this in the most important session, 0, where I make stuff because I want you to go through it, not around it. So,
speaking of session 0, what kind of safety tools do you bring to your tables, or that you like seeing at tables that you're at?
For sure. Yeah, this is one of my favorite topics because I really enjoy the very first, obvious, in my opinion, safety tool of having like the red, green, yellow of a bunch of different topics. Everyone fills it out. They could be anonymous as well. They can do whatever they want. I just want them to fill it out. If there's topics they don't want covered, let me know. I also fill it out and then I discuss it fully openly. Like, hey, we're not going to talk about sexual assault or police brutality, things that are triggering. Anything like that. Like, I am running a fantasy game to escape the world of capitalism. If something capitalist shows up, it's because we all live in a society and we're programmed this way. But I'm sorry if it happens, sort of stuff. And, like, I won't ever be talking about things, but then that gives people opportunities to say, like, hey, I'm actually deathly allergic and scared of bugs. Like, I don't want, in your descriptions, I don't want you to talk about how bugs are crawling all over stuff. It's a simple thing that you can change in your descriptions, to make someone feel more comfortable. I also have talk about in session 0, but in the middle of a game, if someone doesn't want to talk about something, or if they get asked a question, they can literally just go, they say, my character throws their hands up and they're just like, I'm not interested in you. And it can be anything. And then that person 100% leaves. Because I do have instances of characters that are forceful, not in a sexual assault way, but forceful in their actions, and they're evil. They're definitely scary. They push people to limits where they feel uncomfortable but not unsafe. And if at the end of the day people are like, I don't have any interest in you, then the person will be like, well, I don't have interest in you either, and they'll leave. Because I think that at the end of the day, people should have a say over what they're doing. I also do a little X's and O's in our little side chat. If things feel like potentially I'm feeling a vibe, I do a little X in chat, and then people can respond with an O or an X. If they're good to go, or like, hey, I'm not okay. And then I can just slowly move the conversation away from what's being talked about. Or like if there's in-game RP or anything like that, like that's making people uncomfortable, we do a little like, how we feeling? We feeling okay about this? Especially if there's PCs that are arguing. That's what I'm mostly checking in. I'm like, are we arguing? Are we in character? Are we struggling to make a decision together, or is your characters fighting? Most of the time so far it's been, we're good, my character's just mad. I'm like, okay, because I know that I personally struggle with people being mad. So I view it more as being like, uh-oh, my players hate each other now. They don't. I'm just traumatized. But those are some safety tools. So, initial, like, papers, in-game sign. It doesn't have to be throwing your hands up. It could be something very small, like holding your hand off to the side, or a peace sign, or just a little, like, thumbs down. It could be something small. It could literally be itching your nose, just, like, over and over again. Just whatever you all agree on. Just do the thing and respect each other. And then also the off-screen X's and O's I do as well. What do you do?
I do session 0 because session 0 is very important no matter what. I have like a scalable kind of sort of like the red, green, blue, but it's like the 1 through 5 type of situation of like, you know,
Yeah.
is this good? To, you know, a measurable thing. Also, I do X, like visible X. Like if something comes up and it's like, even if it's not part of like lines and veils, and like something just come up and you're like, oh, just a visible X at the
just
table.
Literally
just like,
anything. Be like, I'm good.
Nope. Just, you're like, nope, don't want to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's both like for AP and then just games in general, because I'm a professional DM, so I run games in person and online.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And it's one of those things, like I want to make sure everybody feels safe.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's safety is needed no matter the story you tell. Because I mean, it can feel weird. Like, one of the rules, and I've had to implement this recently, because most recently, and I was like thankfully affirmed by it. I don't like children at my table, and it's not children characters. Well, probably children characters, but I do not like children at my table unless it's specifically like only children. And even then, I'm like, I want at least another adult at the table. But I don't do well with kids.
Yeah.
I'm not a teacher. I will teach people how to play the game. I will not teach a child how to behave. Because it's not my job.
Right. Yeah.
It's not my job to teach your kid manners. So it's one of those things. It's like, I mean, their parent was at the table, but it was one of those things is I thought a kid like, hey, it's me and my kid. And I'm like, oh, it's like an adult child, or like just turned 18, whatever, child, or like kid to this person. It was like, no, a full ass child, like 7 years old. And I'm like,
I struggle as well. Like, the tone shifts a lot if you have minors, because it's then more of a teaching experience, and like, you have responsibility for so many things that I just don't. You didn't sign up for that, so just being super clear, you know, about what you want is important. So saying no kids, you shouldn't have to explain yourself. You could just say that's my boundary. I don't want that.
I wasn't prepared. Like, again, I've had an adult child of another adult at the table, at my table, and I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah.
But you gotta give me a heads up if it's a kid, because then I'm gonna be like, no. I don't care if I'm getting paid for this. No, thank you. Please don't bring your child here.
That makes sense.
And I wish I would have done like a session 0 prior to I usually do for those games, because they're usually one shots with like, it's like a veteran table. So it's like I do like a quick one, like the first 30 minutes of the game, or like the game time is like, you know, session 0, just going over things. I wish I would have done it beforehand, because I wish it was one of those things you just learn afterwards. It's like,
for sure.
So you have any? Are there any APs that you would like? APs that you have been watching lately, or you're like, I don't have time?
Yes and no. I've been watching a lot of like anime, and I'm watching a lot of like. No, I'm not watching a lot of stuff.
You're like, I'm not watching actual play. Sorry, I don't have time. I don't have 4 hours to sit down and watch something or listen to something.
I'm just watching a lot of anime, so I'm not really like
30
watching
minutes,
actual plays, for sure. No, I'm just like, I'm spending my time watching nerd stuff.
I mean, it's nerd stuff. It's just very long form nerd
it is,
stuff.
That's true. You know, I did try to watch Critical Role. I just don't have 6 hours of time every week. As much as I would love to, things like that. I mean, there's definitely a lot of games, like a couple of my friends on some of the Dropout games. I haven't watched these either. I feel bad, but no, I'm just out here, like, if I've got 5 minutes of time, I watch an anime.
Understandable. Understandable. Yeah, I think, it's a commitment. It's a commitment to watch some of those shows, and it's just like, I've been able to pick up things along the way and watch shows whenever I'm able to. It's usually just on in the background, though.
That's
it's
fair.
Like, I'm working on stuff, I have it on in the background, I'm lurking in, like, especially if it's a live show, I'm just lurking in the background. But yeah, I haven't had the time the past couple of months, because I've been very overworked and overstimulated.
Yeah, that's super fair.
And yeah, so you're doing this show on top of making all the other content that you do online. How? How?
I have to remind everybody that I'm unemployed. This is my job. I do this all the time, and then also
Same.
I don't have kids. Also, I don't have animals. Also, I have a partner, but not like in town. So I have a lot of time, and I utilize my time very productively because I have like chronic productivitis, basically. My resting is small productive things. If I'm like, I have that problem where I can't fully rest, I'm working on it, and I'm forcing myself to get offline, touch grass, do things like that, but I definitely am chronically online. I'm chronically doing things that preserve and push me forward, because that's the thing that gives me the serotonin, baby. I gotta get I gotta get a hit of serotonin. I gotta do something, make something, be something, and so I'm constantly doing stuff. But that also means that I'm constantly sitting in a room on my computer, just like you are. So,
yeah. As a full-time content creator, because I too am. This is my job. Making content is my job. I get a lot of questions as to why.
Sure.
Need I point to the state of the world?
Gig economy.
Economy. Unfortunately, it's one of those things. And I mean, like, I have a cat. I live with my mother, unfortunately. Come at me, comment section. I don't care. But yeah, it's one of those things. It's like, I've been making content for so long that I love it. It's one of the things that I constantly come back to, even though I evolve out of the space that I'm already in.
Yeah.
I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. But I don't know. What inspires you to make content?
My drastic need to be happy, seen, and loved. And I wish I was joking. I love friendship. I love meeting people. I love doing things. I love getting people together. Prior to COVID, I was definitely that person that got people together in person and had board game nights and little parties. Not like big parties, but you know what I mean. Like, friends come over, play Jackbox on the couch instead of just in Discord. Like, I did things like that. Like, I was very much that person, and then I was brought inside, and I was reminded of how much I really enjoyed content creation, because I've been doing content creation since 2007. Took a break from like 2015 to 2020, and was like, wait a second. I love doing this. I'm not going to stop anymore. And this is my life now. And I started streaming on Twitch, at least, because I was going through a divorce. I was going through a really tough emotional time. I was overcoming a lot of things while also trying to discover who I was, because that person was lost, and started streaming as a sort of self-expression and journey towards just becoming a stronger me. And I did that, and I'd say that I am a completely different person now in a great way, but I am inspired to create content because I have always watched content. I have always been a consumer. I've always been a creative. I've always wanted to make something that someone will look at and say, this is fun or stupid or cool or bad, whatever. I don't care. I'm making it for me. When I was very little, the dawn of YouTube, I'd make videos, and I guess I wasn't very little. I was in like 7th or 8th grade at the dawn of YouTube, but I was still very little in my eyes now. I was making little videos with friends. I was walking around making shorts, and I was making long form, like, theater content. I was making zombie films and short films, and as a high schooler I won some awards and stuff, and then I just took a break one time and I never went back, and now I'm sort of rejuvenated, and I'm reminded how much content brings me so much joy, and we're in a constant search for joy in our life, and it's just great. I like it. I like it a lot. Not necessarily streaming on Twitch, but making stuff in general. Just creating something, seeing it come to life, and it be a creative endeavor. And like the effort and the time that it put in, and like seeing it done, just gives me that good.
It's like,
yeah,
it feels nice. It feels like once you've like put the bow on something.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, yeah, it feels really good that this is complete.
Exactly.
Because then you can, like, look back at it and be like, I did that.
And then you can also see the growth
Yeah.
of over time of what you used to create to what you create now. Just seeing that you have, like, an actual representation of how much you've gotten better. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's cool.
I am so glad that some of my cringy-ass content that was up on YouTube is no longer there.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God past me deleted those YouTube channels. Thank you. I mean, I have like a lot of those videos on like a drive. I just haven't looked at them, and I'm like, well, I have to get them processed because it was on Mac and now I'm on PC, so it's just like,
I also went from Mac to PC. I was very much that, not iMovie, but basically iMovie girly.
Yeah.
That was making little YouTube videos and all sorts of stuff. No, it was fun.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, that's right. This isn't formatted for this kind of thing. Oh well. One day. What inspires you as a GM though? Like,
as a dungeon master, as a game master, creative writing. I think I really enjoy seeing world building and creation, and I like having an idea and seeing how it plays out, and then having a willing group of participants to see how my funny little story comes to life. It might be bad, but at least it came to life. And I like recording it because I like to, see it again in the future or things like that. So I have a good time. But yeah, just creative writing, being creative. What inspires the actual content is usually other content. Like, I'll see how one source of media creates elves, and then another sort of source of media creates elves, and then how D&D creates elves, and then I'm like, but what if? And I have my own ideas, and I sort of create my own things, and I think it's just fun.
You're like, I take a little bit of this, and a little bit of that, and a little bit of this, and I do it like this, and I blah, 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 blah.
And now it's an amalgamation of at least 4 different things. Because I think
it's a parfait.
This from this
it's
and
a parfait.
this from this would be really cool. Yep, exactly.
Are there any TTRPGs that you would want to play outside of D&D that you haven't? Or, like, either play or DM in?
I've DM'd Thirsty Sword Lesbians. I would love to play in Thirsty Sword Lesbians. I've played in Call of Cthulhu. I'd love to DM Call of Cthulhu. Or play in Call of Cthulhu again. I want to play the Avatar game. I want to play, there's a Dark Souls TTRPG I want to play. There's a lot of stuff that I want to do, and I'm down. I have got fun characters, I've got serious characters, and I've got improv bones in me, and I can do them all.
You hear that, AP World?
Yeah.
Book Jen.
Yes! I've got like 30 to 40 different on-stream characters I can send you a little reel for if you care. But I'm like,
Yeah. No, I have a bunch of Call of Cthulhu stuff, and I'm like, I really want to run Call of Cthulhu.
that'd be fun!
I haven't had the time.
Yeah,
And it's
same.
just like, I haven't had the time. Like, I'm running a D&D one-shot soon, whenever we're recording this, and then I'm running a one-shot for these are both charity one-shots, and then I'm running a Thirsty Sword Lesbians for charity, and I'm like, I need time to run other stuff, because I'm like, I'm partnered with Chaosium. Like, I say partnered, I get stuff from Chaosium.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, I want to run Call of Cthulhu, but they have Pendragon, which is like knights and stuff.
That's fun.
I was like, I want to do, because I interviewed one of the line editors for the book, and he's like, yeah, I have like a all lady knight thing, like adventure coming out soon. And I was like, okay, hear me out. Let me know when that happens so I can get that, so I can run it myself or be in it. I just want to play, because I think it's just fun. It's like Guinevere and like lady knights. I want lady
100%.
knights. It's lesbians. Let's just have lots of queer things.
Give me more lesbians!
Give me more lesbians! Give me the queer women and just queers in general.
Exactly.
I love that. Gosh. Well, this is the part where I say, plug your shit!
Oh my gosh, hello. Yeah, if you want to check me out, I make content over on Twitch where I do Souls games, fantasy games, and horror games. I also host a bunch of game shows or things that bring people together, like dating shows or speedrunning tournaments, things like that. That's at Jenna's Online on Twitch. If you want to watch me over on YouTube as well, I make edited content out of my streams. It's fun, it's entertaining. We're currently uploading several episodes of Skyrim content. And we will soon be uploading Baldur's Gate 3 content with a shared creator, Nearly Squid, from the game. And if you want to watch me over on TikTok or short form content on Insta Reels or YouTube Shorts, you got me there as well. Jen's Online. As well, if you're a dungeon master and you want to listen to me yap about being a dungeon master with professionals in the industry, check out the Overprepared DM on Spotify or any of your other podcast spaces. I also run a game called The Missing Pieces over on the Overprepared DM YouTube channel. And that gets uploaded every couple weeks because I'm slow at editing. But we've got 15 episodes up right now. That is, oh god, so many hours. Whatever 15 times 3 is, that's how many hours you've got.
A lot. Math. I'm not a math gay, so...
I'm not, but my calculator is. We've got over 40 hours of content.
There you go. Exactly.
And we're recording our second season right now to go to our second arc of the game, so that'll be uploaded later in the months while I upload Overprepared DM podcast content.
Woohoo!
Yeah!
Yay! So if you would like to get those links, sorry, my mind blanked right there. If you'd like to check all that content out from Jen, all the links will be down below. Speaking of the podcast, you can catch this podcast on all your favorite podcasting platforms, including in visual form on Spotify and YouTube.
Yay!
I know!
You can see
Crazy.
all the moments where I'm yawning on accident, and I get distracted because I have ADHD. Love that. Yay!
Yay! Same. That's why I'm just like...
I literally have to close everything. If I see a notification, I'm like, what is that, though? And I look at it.
You can also find me everywhere on the internet at Shelly Von Miller. Just find Shelly Von Miller all over the internet. That's me. I promise. I promise it's me. You can also get early access to these episodes and other content on Patreon and Fourth Wall memberships for as paid tiers or for as low as $7 a month. And if you want it all, you can have it all, baby. I'm just saying. With the season of this season of the podcast closing soon, shutting down, doing all the things, you will get behind the scenes of making of season 2, and we have a really cool logo coming out for season 2, and maybe the early access to trailers, things like that. Anyways, I'm blabbling.
Blabbling is my new babble and abbling.
Yes. Yes, those are words. Anyways, I love you guys very much, and I will see you on the internet. Goodbye!